Background real quick, this used to be Gypsy Moon, some people know that. Some events here back in the day, and Doug was one of the cool, funny people that I met back then. So here we are again a couple years later doing it again as a kava bar, even better. And they have a full table. All right, the big dogs are here.
Wow, technical difficulties. And I was just getting this freaking mic out of the thing. How you guys doing tonight? I wanted to see what kind of crowd we're working with tonight. Give it up for IVNS. Give it up for Gabby, your bartender, your tender here tonight. Gabby! All right, give it up for yourselves. Give it up for 9/11. Oh, I got her. Get her out of here. Good Lord. Anyway, I think we can all agree 9/11 was bad. I just wanted to filter the crowd. Anyway, I'm Doug. I do stand-up comedy. I got a podcast. I write sometimes, and it's been a while since I've been on stage. I wanted to say something real quick, and I hope you bear with me real quick. I just wanted to say into a microphone that my mom's had cancer for a little bit, and she got seen today, and that cancer is pretty much gone. Thank you. I'll show that to her. She'll like it. Well, I kind of want to do one stand-up joke, and then I'm going to get to the book reading real quick. You know, I was thinking the other day. Don't hurt yourself.
What were you thinking?
I was just thinking the other day, that's all. That was the end of my sentence. Anyway, that was the comedy part. That went over real well. All right, so I wrote a book called Jesus Christ of Ward D, a comic novel. It's the first book I've ever written. I can't believe I wrote a book, and I'm very, very proud of it. It does have Jesus in it, and it's about Jesus. But Jesus, give it up for Jesus, guys. Oh my God. But the way it was made was to be funny, kind of young adult, right? And you sneak them in with the comedy, and then you start teaching them the word of Jesus in secret. That's the idea I was going for with this book. And it's a lot. And I hope anybody doesn't feel that it's blasphemous in any way. Are you guys ready for this? I'm ready. Gotta have water. So I have cotton mouth because of the weed. Give it up for weed. Okay, the scene that I'm reading is, long story short, Jesus is in jail, and he heals all the inmates of evil, all of their hate, and all of their prejudices. And this scene takes place in the yard of the jail. The inmates are put into a single file line and led outside. They all squint their eyes in response to the bright sunlight. In the yard, there is a basketball court, weights, and several benches where the skinheads usually sit. But today is different. There are 3 black guys, people of color. I met people of color, sort of. Sitting with the skinheads. They are laughing and playing cards together. There's a basketball game being played, but the usual yelling and cursing had become the sound of the inmates complimenting and encouraging each other. Don likes it. A hardened black guy named Trey attempts a 3-pointer but misses. He is visibly disappointed with his shot. Skinhead Bob, who he had just fought with at supper the night before, comes up to him and pats him on the shoulder. "It's okay, Trey. You're playing really good today, bro. Keep it up." Trey immediately cheers up. "Thanks, Skinhead Bob. You're playing really good today, too," Trey replies, smiling. Skinhead Bob looks at him meaningfully. You got to remember to be proud of who you are. You're a talented man. You're a son of God. Ain't nothing going to stop you, bro. Skinhead Bob tells Trey. Trey smiles. I know that, man. It's just sometimes I forget. I guess it all goes back to my pops leaving me. Trey smiles, turns upside down. Oh no, Trey. I didn't know that your father left you. I'm so sorry. Bob sadly replies. Yeah, well, since then, I just never had anyone to teach me. No older brothers, no pops. Trey confesses in a slightly lowered voice. You guys hanging in there? I appreciate you guys. I love you so much for just listening. This is so funny. Skinhead Bob has tears running down his face. He is just so emotionally overwhelmed by this poor black guy's struggle. It fills Skinhead Bob's heart with sadness. These black guys face systemic racism every day, and it just wasn't fair. Trey, Skinhead Bob says, breaking the silence. Yeah? Trey looks up at Skinhead Bob. Whenever you need me, brother, I could be your pops. I could be your big brother. You're not alone, Trey, Bob tells him, making very sincere eye contact. Trey jumps up and gives Skinhead Bob a big hug. Thank you so much, Skinhead Bob. I'll always be there for you too, bro. You're the best friend a fella could ever have. It was like a scene out of a freaking Barney episode. Just a big love fest of friendship. A newly budding friendship between Trey, a hardened black man, and Skinhead Bob. They hug for a while, then separate themselves. Hey, you want to listen to some rap music? Trey asks Skinhead Bob. Not really. You want to listen to some Nazi death metal? Skinhead Bob counters. Trey thinks about it for a second, then smiles. Yeah, Skinhead Bob, I'll check out some Nazi death metal with you. Skinhead Bob smiles back at Trey. You're a good friend. You're a good friend, Trey. I love you. I love you too, Skinhead Bob. We'll be friends forever, Trey replies. Then they hold hands and skip off together to pick daisies. I was so happy when I wrote that sentence, guys. Jesus looks on approvingly. He is pleased at the scene on the court. This is what God's love is all about. Black guys and neo-Nazis being kind to each other. Sparks and Jesus walk up to the basketball court. Sparks is Jesus' cellmate. The last game had finished, and all the players of violent offenders, black guys and skinheads, are congratulating and high-fiving each other on a good game. They were playing shirts versus skinheads. One of the inmates asked Jesus, do you play? Then he tosses him a basketball. Jesus catches the ball awkwardly and looks at it. From the way Jesus caught the basketball like a little girl, there was a low collective giggle. They all knew Jesus couldn't ball. Then all of a sudden, Jesus starts spinning the basketball on a single finger. Then he starts doing basketball tricks like the Harlem Globetrotters. Look them up, kids. Jesus makes his way to the three-point line. He yells out, Jordan River, yo! Jesus jumps up and he soars through the sky like a heavenly angel, gliding toward the net for a flawless slam dunk. It is a miraculous dunk, and what's more, Jesus performed the slam dunk in slow motion somehow. Everyone noticed that time itself had started going into slow motion, but they never addressed it because they were too busy admiring the Jordan River style dunk. Thanks, Miss Mark. Jesus completely dominates the other prisoners at basketball. They decide they double guarded him too, but they were no match. Jesus is the ultimate baller. Sparks goes up to Jesus and clenches his hand and gives him a front fist bump. Jesus stands there with his arm hanging. Jesus never knew when a handshake with a black guy was over. Jesus is used to simple handshakes, but black guys have beautiful and complicated handshakes with lots of moves. Jesus didn't know what Sparks' next handshake move would be. Was he going to go for a top-to-bottom bump? A bottom-to-top bump? Are we going to go in for a bro hug? Thank God the handshake was over after the front bump. And even though Jesus inadvertently was left hanging, Sparks front bumped him once more, so Jesus wouldn't feel embarrassed. After the basketball game, Skinhead Bob calls Jesus over the weight bench. "You lift?" asks Bob. "A little bit," Jesus replies. "What's your record?" Bob looks at Jesus puzzled. Surely he couldn't lift that much. "It's 300 pounds, Jesus. I did it myself." I'm going to skip something because it's not funny. Why would I get up here and read a comedy book if I wasn't going to read the funny things? Ridiculous. So anyway, Skinhead Bob was lifting weights, and Trey was spotting him. "Believe in yourself, Skinhead Bob," Trey encourages him. "You can do whatever you put your mind to." A few guards are watching from a distance. "You see that?" one of the guards asks, pointing towards Trey and Skinhead Bob. Another guard replies, "Yep, Trey's over there spotting Skinhead Bob." "Yeah, didn't Skinhead Bob try to shank him like 2 weeks ago?" "Sure did," the other guard replies. Spits out some chalk. It's good to see them getting along. Back at the bench, Skinhead Bob is ready to go. Long story short, he lifted the weight. I feel like it's dragging on, but he lifted the weight. "I knew you could do it, Skinhead Bob. You could do anything you put your mind to." Trey congratulates him. "Well, I've always wanted to eradicate all the blacks and Jews." "Skinhead Bob, that's racist, yo," Trey shouts at him. "Oh, I'm sorry, Trey." "You're Canadian?" "Nah, Mississippi. I didn't mean to be racist, buddy. I couldn't do it without my best friend, Trey, watching my back." Skinhead Bob shoots back at Trey with a smile. "Ah, shucks," Trey replies. Jesus notices that Skinhead Bob is standing very close to Trey and has his arm around him. This is a new thing. Got strawberry. "So how much can you put up, Jesus?" "At 100 pounds. Bart's stunned. "There's no way. It's not happening." "Trust me, Skinhead Bob, let's just have some fun, see what happens." Jesus insists. Skinhead Bob reluctantly obliges and adds the extra weight. "Hey, I'm going to need other spotters," he shouts. "Oh, I don't need a spot." "Thanks so," Jesus says. Now, Skinhead Bob knows that he's a sinner. He's down to have a little fun and a good laugh at Jesus, but he wasn't going to kill Jesus Christ today. It wouldn't look good on his record. And Skinhead Bob is being tried for shoplifting at a Spencer's in the mall. He calls Trey over, and they stand on each side of the bar for when Jesus fails. However, Jesus rarely fails. Jesus reps 400 pounds 10 times. The prisoners cheer him on. The guards cheer him on as well. Jesus finishes his 10 reps of 400 pounds. He gently sets the backrest on the bar back on the rack and sits up. "I promise it's over soon." Quite honestly, Jesus looked a little bored. Then Trey approaches Jesus. "How could you possibly lift that with your withered white ass, buddy?" Trey asks. "Skinhead Bob, don't be racist, dude." "Okay, Skinhead Bob." "You know what, Trey? You can just call me Bob," he replies. Trey smiles. Jesus, with all the cockiness and modesty in the world, says, "It's mostly about having good core strength," gesturing his hands over his core. The crowd of inmates and guards are mostly stunned silent. Nobody knew what just in the tarnation was going on today. They did know, however, that this day was very, very special. Not only did the skinheads and black guys get along, but two of them discovered they were gay and ended up getting married in prison. It's a beautiful love story. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Each chapter ends with a Bible verse. It tricks people each way. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. If you want to talk with me about the book, I don't know why you would. Or get my social, let me know. It's available. I got a couple old copies for sale now. Yeah.